Texas is drowning, and the screams of its people echo through the nation. A catastrophic flood has gripped the heart of Texas, transforming vibrant communities into a watery graveyard. More than 110 lives have been cruelly snatched away, with a staggering 170 individuals still unaccounted for, their fates hanging precariously in the balance. But for those who have miraculously survived, the ordeal is far from over. Their homes, businesses, and cherished memories have been mercilessly devoured by the raging waters. Families are torn apart, and despair casts a long shadow over once thriving towns. The cries for help are desperate, yet an eerie silence from official channels and major aid organizations leaves many wondering. Where's the cavalry? The grim reality is that the death toll is feared to climb even higher, with missing persons reports escalating hourly, suggesting that the true scale of this tragedy is still unfolding. This isn't just a flood. It's a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions, and the clock is ticking for the forgotten victims of the Texas deluge. The 4th of July horror, a flood unlike any other. This 4th of July Texas flood tragedy has etched itself into the annals of American history as the nation's deadliest rainfall flood in nearly 5 decades, firmly ranking among the most devastating rainfall flood killers since the mid-20th century. The sheer intensity and widespread impact of this event set it apart, causing a level of destruction that few could have anticipated. Historically, the last flash flood to claim a higher toll of lives in the U.S. was the Big Thompson Canyon, Colorado flood, which occurred on July 31st, 1976. That fateful day, up to a foot of rain deluged the area in just a few short hours, unleashing an almost 20-foot flood wave that roared down a narrow canyon west of Loveland. The Big Thompson Canyon disaster claimed 144 lives and left another 250 injured, a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature. The Texas flood of 2025, with its current death toll already surpassing 110 and a potential to rise further, now stands as a grim successor to that tragic event, underscoring the increasing vulnerability of communities to extreme weather phenomena. The speed and ferocity with which the water rose, catching many off guard during a celebratory holiday weekend, amplified the disaster, turning moments of joy into scenes of terror and loss. Eyewitness accounts speak of a sudden, overwhelming surge, a wall of water that swept through homes and businesses, leaving little time for escape. The sheer volume of rainfall, coupled with the terrain of the affected regions, particularly the Texas Hill Country, known for its susceptibility to flash floods due to its unique geological features, created a perfect storm for catastrophe. A cry for help. Where is the aid? The narrative emerging from the flooded regions of Texas is deeply troubling, painting a picture of desperate survivors feeling abandoned and forgotten. While the initial shock of the disaster prompted widespread sympathy, the practical reality on the ground highlights a severe lack of coordinated and impactful relief efforts. For countless individuals, the loss of their homes isn't just about property. It's the loss of their entire life savings, their sense of security, and the fabric of their daily existence. Businesses, often family-owned and operated, represent generations of hard work and dreams. Their destruction not only impacts the owners, but also the employees who now face unemployment and the communities that rely on these establishments. The emotional toll of losing relatives, especially in such a sudden and violent manner, is immeasurable. Survivors speak of profound trauma of witnessing the floodwaters claim their loved ones, a harrowing experience that will undoubtedly scar them for life. In the immediate aftermath, the absence of visible, large-scale relief operations from either governmental bodies or prominent charitable organizations has been a source of immense frustration and despair. While smaller local initiatives and individual acts of kindness are undoubtedly present, they are simply not enough to address the monumental scale of the crisis. The fear that the death toll will continue to climb is not just a statistical prediction, but a tangible dread felt by those on the ground, who are still searching for missing friends and family amidst the debris and receding waters. The constant increase in missing person reports underscores the chaotic nature of the event and the difficulty in accounting for everyone amidst the widespread destruction. The warning system failure, a question of responsibility. Amidst the unfolding tragedy, a critical and deeply unsettling question has emerged. Was there a failure to adequately warn people about the impending disaster? The answer, according to many residents and emerging reports, appears to be a resounding and heartbreaking yes. Many residents, interviewed by major news outlets like the New York Times, have stated that they simply did not grasp the gravity of the situation. They received warnings, perhaps, but the severity and urgency were not effectively communicated, leading to a fatal underestimation of the danger. Even more alarming, a significant number of residents claim they never received any warnings at all, leaving them utterly unprepared when the floodwaters violently descended upon their communities. This raises serious questions about the efficacy and reach of the existing alert systems. One critical factor being scrutinized is the National Weather Service, NWS, and its capacity to issue timely and accurate flood warnings. Disturbing reports suggest that staff shortages at the NWS played a significant role in hampering their ability to effectively monitor, forecast, and disseminate critical information. These shortages, stemming from a combination of budget cuts and early retirement incentives, have left key positions vacant and placed immense pressure on an already strained workforce. A warning coordination meteorologist, a crucial role responsible for liaising between forecasters and local emergency management officials, was reportedly vacant in the Austin/San Antonio NWS office, which covers some of the hardest-hit areas. This absence of critical personnel could have severely impeded the flow of information and coordination efforts in the crucial hours leading up to the disaster. While the NWS has stated that warnings were issued, the disconnect between their alerts and the public's understanding or reception of them points to a systemic breakdown. The nature of flash floods, with their rapid onset and immense destructive power, demands an exceptionally efficient and far-reaching warning system. When lives hang in the balance, even a slight delay or miscommunication can have catastrophic consequences. This failure to warn, whether due to a lack of understanding on the part of residents or a breakdown in the warning infrastructure itself, demands a thorough and independent investigation to prevent such a monumental loss of life from happening again. A history of tragedy, echoes of the past. The Texas flood of 2025, while uniquely devastating in its immediate impact, resonates with a somber history of catastrophic flooding in the United States. The comparison to the Big Thompson Canyon flood of 1976 is particularly poignant, serving as a stark reminder that such natural disasters, though rare in their extreme lethality, are not unprecedented. The Big Thompson Canyon flood, almost 5 decades ago, showcased the terrifying speed and force with which flash floods can strike. The rapid accumulation of rainfall, the narrow canyon topography, and the unsuspecting nature of the victims, many of whom were campers and tourists, mirrored some of the tragic elements observed in the Texas disaster. The common thread is a sudden, overwhelming surge of water, leaving little to no time for preparation or escape. Understanding these historical precedents is crucial, not to diminish the current tragedy, but to learn from past mistakes and improve future disaster preparedness. The sheer volume of rain that fell in such a short period in both instances highlights the challenge of forecasting and warning for these extreme events. While meteorological science has advanced significantly since 1976, the Texas flood demonstrates that the power of nature can still overwhelm even the most sophisticated systems. The lessons of Big Thompson, which led to improved flood warning protocols and public awareness campaigns in some areas, seem to have been tragically overlooked or insufficiently implemented in parts of Texas. The question now is whether the painful lessons of this latest tragedy will finally spur the necessary investment in infrastructure, staffing, and communication strategies to truly protect communities from the growing threat of extreme weather. The human cost, beyond the numbers, the statistics of dead and missing, while vital for understanding the scale of the disaster, can never fully capture profound human costs of the Texas floods. Each number represents a life cut short, a family forever altered, and a community grappling with unspeakable grief. The survivors, often overlooked in the immediate aftermath, face a long and arduous journey of recovery. Imagine waking up to find your home, the repository of your memories, possessions, and sense of security, reduced to a pile of rubble or swallowed by mud. Imagine the terror of desperately searching for a loved one amidst the swirling waters, only to be met with the devastating news of their death. The psychological trauma of such experiences can be lifelong, leading to post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression. Children, particularly vulnerable, will carry these scars into adulthood, potentially impacting their development and well-being. The destruction of businesses has a ripple effect, leading to job losses, economic instability, and decline in local services. The social fabric of communities is frayed, as neighbors mourn together and struggle to rebuild their lives. The fear of future floods lingers, creating a pervasive sense of unease and vulnerability. Beyond the physical damage, there's the emotional and mental exhaustion of navigating bureaucratic hurdles for aid that is slow to materialize, the frustration of feeling unheard, and the despair of facing an uncertain future without adequate support. The Texas floods are not just a meteorological event. They are a profound human tragedy, demanding compassion, comprehensive support, and a commitment to ensuring that no community is left to face such devastation alone. The political storm, warnings ignored? The tragic events in Texas have rapidly escalated into a heated political debate, with accusations flying regarding the adequacy of warnings and the impact of government policies. Residents' claims of insufficient or non-existent warnings have directly challenged official narratives. While National Weather Service, NWS, maintains and issued appropriate alerts, the lived experience of those on the ground tells a different story. This discrepancy fuels the critical question of whether the warnings, even if issued, were effectively communicated and understood by the public. Furthermore, the role of government funding and staffing at critical agencies, like the NWS, has come under intense scrutiny. Reports indicating significant staff shortages at NWS offices, particularly in crucial positions responsible for coordinating with local emergency management, have drawn sharp criticism. Opponents argue that these reductions, driven by cost-cutting measures, have severely compromised the nation's ability to respond to and mitigate natural disasters. The White House, while acknowledging the scale of the tragedy, has largely defended the NWS, asserting that the flood was an unforeseen once-in-a-generation event. However, this stance has been met with skepticism from various quarters, including former NWS officials and congressional leaders, who warn that continued underfunding and staffing cuts will inevitably lead to more catastrophic outcomes. The debate extends to local preparedness as well, with some reports suggesting that certain affected counties lack robust early warning systems due to cost concerns and local resistance to increased spending. A call to action, rebuilding, and resilience. As the floodwaters slowly recede, revealing the full extent of the devastation, the focus must shift from immediate rescue to long-term recovery and rebuilding. This is not merely about reconstructing physical structures. It is about rebuilding lives, communities, and a sense of security. The immediate priority must be to provide comprehensive support to survivors, safe shelter, food, clean water, medical care, and psychological counseling to address the profound trauma they've endured. Financial assistance, both from government sources and charitable organizations, is critical to help families and businesses begin the arduous process of recovery.